Thank you for tuning into the Faceless Podcast. I go by the name of Shepherd. My friends call me Sheps. Call me whatever you want. As long as it's not I think about responding. Just in case you haven't noticed, guys, somebody got a haircut. Somebody got a haircut. I was going to do a game where in the comments you could just try to say how many more podcasts am I going to put out before I get my next haircut. And the winner would get free promotion for their psychic channel. But no one cares. That's not what you come here for. it's not. It's not really what you come here for. So, before we go any further, I did just want to put out there. I think my haircut looks all right. Percy, I think it looks all right. The barber done his job. As is customary, scroll down, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe, notifications bell. That's the only way we're gonna grow. If you like what I'm doing and you want to see more of this content, you want the trainer boxes out the background, you want a proper background, you want proper audio. So to allow me to grow, please do like and share and subscribe, and then we could get some more investment into what I'm doing. As I've mentioned, I'm mentioning this all the time now. I've got a lot of plans in the future to do maybe even slightly shorter but more informative videos with more facts, numbers, stats, and links. But obviously, to do all that research, to do all that time, the costs will be incurred, sort of thing. So yeah, let's get this channel bigger. Let's get more people subscribed to the Faceless Podcast. Let's get more people thinking on their own. That's literally my only goal. Just think for yourself. That's what I care about. Just think for yourself. Now, what I want to discuss. Okay, I'm gonna be very honest, guys. This is take two, not take two as in I've messed up before or just before this intro, and now I'm doing it again. This is take two in the sense of I did record a similar podcast last week. I was meant to put it out, but something wasn't sitting right. Something wasn't sitting right. I just thought maybe I was just talking nonsense. Maybe I don't know. Something up there. I don't know if it was God telling me, "Yo, big man, just relax for 2 seconds, and I'll send you the guidance." It could be that. So I thought, let me do it again. And as I've mentioned, this is all a part. Like you might be thinking, Shepherd, why have you told me that? This is, I don't care. Just get on with it. This is all part in saying, when you think for yourself, when you've got your own mindset, you've got the ability to criticize your own thoughts, you've got the ability to think something one day, come back to it and go, nah, I could do better, or that could be wrong, or let me revisit that thought. Does it really have to be? This is what I'm trying to encourage, which is why I mentioned that. So, some of these points, some of these videos that you see, some of these podcasts that you see, it could be 2-3 months worth of thoughts, worth of me doing research, worth of me gathering just my ideas. So it's not just off the cuff. This is what I think, and then just running. And I do, you will get some like that. Hopefully, when we get more guests, you get more off the cuff thoughts. So that's kind of why I mentioned that. And the topic, what I want to discuss is this coronavirus. It's been done. There's loads of videos out there from the conspiracy theorists that say it's a hoax for 5G to the people that think if you don't wear your mask in the shower, in the car, to bed, if you don't wear your mask on top of a mask, if you don't wear a mask on top of your head or the back of your head, you're going to die and you're going to kill everyone else around you. So there's everything else in between. Now, what has actually made me want to do this video now is the fact that Boris, my good old buddy Boris, I don't know what he's doing now. I've been backing Boris. I've been backing Boris. We believe in the Boris. That's what I've been telling people. People are like, yo, you're crazy. Because contrary, is it contrary? Is that the word? Maybe. Yeah, but counter to popular opinion, he's actually incredibly intelligent. He's very, very intelligent. He plays dumb. I've watched countless interviews where people that I've worked closely with him, people that I've known him, gone to the same unis, and they say the exact same thing. He does know that coming across that intelligent can make people feel uncomfortable. And it just takes something away from your personality, and you don't get given as much leeway. So he plays dumb, and fair play to him, he does it very, very well. Now, I cannot explain for the life. Obviously, okay, cool. Let's go back to the beginning. We've got coronavirus. It was official when Cardi B done the coronavirus. I can't do accents. Don't ask me to do that again. We've gone into lockdown. Yes, 2 weeks. 2 weeks lockdown. Yeah, 2 weeks. At the time, I'm thinking, I need to be working. I need to be making money. But, all right, cool. 2 weeks off work. It is what it is. 6 months later, why am I still in lockdown? Gone back to work. Obviously, things are not the same. Personally, it's affected my life. I won't go into details. Personally, this lockdown has ruined my life. I will not go into details. However, fair enough. I'm not a selfish person. We've come out the lockdown now. And I've been watching videos throughout the whole lockdown. People saying, lockdown does not stop the virus. They're going to say second wave, but it's not second wave. It's just the virus working through the population. All lockdown did was slow down the spread of the virus, which was the purpose of lockdown. It was to slow down the spread of the virus so the NHS doesn't get overwhelmed. In 2 weeks, we were able to do that. I've got friends who are nurses in the NHS who said some of their hospitals were empty. Nobody was there. Do you know why? Because they've also cancelled elective surgery. They've also cancelled other appointments. They've turned every single ward into a COVID ward. Okay, cool. But yeah, lockdown was just so that they don't get overwhelmed. They didn't get overwhelmed. Can we go back to work, please? No. Can we go back to normal life? And people will just be responsible, because if you realise, and correct me if I'm wrong, but before these masks became mandatory, people were wearing masks anyway. People realised, there's okay, cool. People were social distancing anyway. Like, I'll be walking down when we had the half an hour walk. I'm walking down and someone would just automatically cross the road or walk. I don't know if it's because I'm black. It's not because I'm black. I just thought, the joke came in my head, guys, I had to take it. It's not because I was black. But in terms of, like, on the pathway, they've gone to one end, I've gone to the other end. Just out of respect. Just out of respect. Look, I'm not going to spit in your face. I'm not going to sneeze at you. I'm not going to cough at you. Cool. Then they made the mask things mandatory, whatever. They reopened the pubs and the restaurants and whatever else after ruining. Personally, I think they're going to look at this in 150 years and they're just going to laugh at us. They're just going to laugh at us and say, I do not know what they were thinking. With the Spanish flu, we couldn't give them a blab because we could say, you know what, there's certain technologies you didn't have at the time. We've got the technology. We've got the science. The science is saying social distancing, wearing masks in close proximity will slow down the virus, the spread. You can go back to normal apart from that. If you've got pre-existing conditions, make sure you take extra precautions. Now, what has the government gone and done? Now, pubs, clubs, anywhere else where you could get served alcohol or restaurants where you eat out, shut at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock curfew. And I know there's been jokes, people saying, oh yeah, COVID will get you at 10, 9:59, you're all right. No one has still explained to me why it's 10 o'clock. Why not 10:01? Why not 11 o'clock? Why not 9 p.m.? What was it about 10 o'clock that was the optimum time to cut off COVID? Boris, you're going to need to explain that one to me, buddy. What was it about 10 o'clock that was the optimum time? Is it having a shower at that point so you just sneak out, you're back in your house? I don't understand. And you can call me stupid, please do. I don't mind it. I know you could say, oh yeah, because after like 10 o'clock, people get more drunk and they will break down social distancing, whatever else, and they're more likely to be loud and whatever and spread the virus. We're not robots. You do not, at 10 o'clock, I just don't go, and then wake back up at 6 in the morning. People now are starting drinking earlier. So come 10 o'clock, they're just as drunk as they would have been at 12:30. People now, there's this rule of six now where you're not... Wait, actually, Boris changed that the other day, didn't he? I'm confused by this, guys. I think that's one of the other reasons people are frustrated. I do not know what... I could not tell you what's going on. I'm confused. Personally, I'm confused. So there's this rule of six now. And this rule of six, you can't be with more than 6 people indoors. Outdoors you can. That was the revision. And if you are with more than 6 people, it has to be extended family or immediate family. So like if there's 7 of you in your house, they're not gonna make you kick out one, as much as that might be nice for some people, because not everyone's got that annoying family member. I won't say who it is. Might get kicked out. It's not gonna happen because obviously you live in the same place, all that makes sense. And I hope you're following this, because I'm confused just trying to get this out. I hope you are following this, because it is what it is. So, they've brought in this rule of 6. Okay. They brought in a curfew. Now, I've heard you can't... Well, not I've heard. You weren't allowed to stand up walk around. You had to sit down when you're being served. You couldn't sing or dance. And I'm like, what's going on? And then the revision, the new ones come out. So you walk into a restaurant. From the door to your table, you have to wear a mask. At your table, you could take off the mask. When you want to go to the toilet, when you want to go everywhere else, you have to put on a mask. Does that make sense to you? I don't understand it. Furthermore, if you're exempt, you don't have to wear a mask. But the NHS website says they're not dishing them out, like the exemption letters or something. I don't know if I read the wrong site. Furthermore, the exemption card you could just download anyway. So even if you're not exempt, you could just download it. No one knows what's going on. No one has a Scooby-Doo. No one knows what is going on with this coronavirus thing. You can download, if you know where to go, you can download the little exemption thing. It doesn't even have an NHS watermark to show this is an official government document or it's come from the... I could have made it on PowerPoint. You just show that to the... He has to accept it, or she has to accept it, whoever you're showing it to, because they've got no clue either. They've just been told, we need to see an exemption letter from your doctor. They have no clue what that looks like. I was out the other day with a few friends of mine, and she's got asthma. She can't wear the mask. She's been given an exemption. It's just a little... I don't have to wear... It literally says, I'm exempt from wearing a mask. I could have written it in crayons. We showed it to the security guard, or the door supervisor, whatever the politically correct term is anymore. I'm going to go into them in a minute, though. He hasn't got a clue. He just went, yeah, no, that's what I was looking for, yeah. Because we asked him, what does it look like? Yeah, you need a letter from your doctor to say that you're exempt. And correct me if I'm wrong, somewhere in there it says you're not allowed to query or question it. If someone tells you they're exempt, you're not allowed to query or question. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now, on top of that, he's got no clue. We've got no clue. No one has a clue. We've got in. I've got my mask. Cool. Like, the thing with me is, as much as I'm complaining about it, I understand some people genuinely do feel anxious when they're around people and they're not wearing a mask. Some people are genuinely scared about this thing. So not to be a complete... I'm trying to find a way of saying this without swearing. I guess you're probably filling the blanks. So not to be a complete that person, I'll be like, okay, cool, we'll play ball. Yeah, if it makes you feel better, we'll play ball for a little bit. But it's going to get to a point where even me, I'm going to go, no, I'm not, stay at home. If you're that worried, stay at home. because you're leaving your house and forcing me now to confirm so that you are comfortable. What about me? I hate wearing a mask. Like, you know when people go, I've got hay fever. That's why sometimes when you hear me breathing, it sounds like a Dyson. It sounds like a vacuum cleaner. All year round, I've got hay fever. I'll turn the camera around. I've got a humidifier that's on every single time. I've got problems breathing. But I haven't got asthma. I haven't got nothing. So I can't claim all of that. It's fair enough. I put on the mask, I start heating up because of the breath that's coming out my nose is coming at 400 degrees Celsius. I start sweating. People are thinking, you might actually have corona because Donnie's just sitting on the bus and he's sweating. He's just sweating. So I'm meant to make myself feel uncomfortable when I'm not even ill. You're worried about this thing. I'm not really worried about it. If I get it, I get it. Oh, well. You're worried about this thing, but now I'm forced just so that you feel comfortable. But again, that's a topic for another day. Now, when I said I was going to get into the security guards, remember the security guard I mentioned at the door? His friend now, and this is at an establishment in South London. I won't say the name, but effectively, it's how do I describe it? It's a hip place to go made out of shipping containers. If you know, you know. The security guard there. Obviously, you're not used to wearing a mask every single day. One of my friends has got up to go to the toilet. Coming back, she's forgot to put on a mask. Why is this guy doing 100 meters Usain Bolt to go, why are you not wearing your mask? Why are you not wearing your mask? Wear your mask. I'm looking at him and I'm like, yo, bro. She's at the table. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with these people? What is, like, if you're a security guard, if you're a door supervisor, what possesses you at that time to be, it's a mask. She's at the table. I do not understand. I thought, because the reason I know you don't have to be like that, because one of my roles was very, very similar. I used to be a safety steward. I used to be a supervisor. I worked in the Olympics 2012. I had a big team. I had a response team. I had never once approached a customer like that. The girl's thinking, what have I done wrong? Like, she's completely forgot that, yeah, everyone needs to wear a mask. And the toilet is not like it's Birmingham to London. It was probably 5 seconds. She could have held her breath if she wanted to. She just forgot. Instead of, yo, just to remind you, it's policy, we don't like enforcing it, wear your mask. Yo, you need to wear your mask, you need to wear. I'm thinking, what? I'm trying to talk to him now to be like, yo, what's wrong with you? Yeah, well, if you don't want to wear your mask, I can kick you out. And I'm like, yo, what is wrong with you? And I hope I bump into him one day. We need to have a conversation. But this is what's happening. And I can't believe it. This is reality. This is not a fairy tale that I'm telling you. This happened yesterday. This is not a fairy tale. This is what I am so confused about the world we're living in right now. If you told me this in January 2020 that you're going to have door supervisors that are doing 100 meters at breakneck speeds. Do you know how fast you have to run to break a neck? That's how fast he was running. Just to tell someone who's already arrived at their destination, why have you not worn a mask the last 5 meters? Demanding a reason. If you told me this is the world I was going to be living in January, I would have bet you my house, I would have bet you all my belongings you're lying. This is the world we're living in. So yeah, that's my little vent on the security guards over, and leads me on to my next point nicely. There was the COVID protest or the anti-lockdown protest that happened in Trafalgar Square. Was it a few days back? I can't remember. I have tried to find reports on this in terms of full segments. All I'm seeing on YouTube is clips of just protests. I'm yet to come across a good clip where it breaks it down. This is what they believe. This is why they're here. I've seen one person explain himself who later on got arrested. And this is why I don't trust the mainstream media as well. If you see the framing, they're not actually. Okay, so when Black Lives Matter was rioting in central London, the people that were getting interviewed, you could tell they've got brains. There's some, even though I disagree with the organization, and you already know that I've made plenty of videos on that. The people could still articulate themselves. They were still wrong in what they were saying. They could articulate themselves. You could think, oh, okay, yeah, you might have a point. But what they were showing with the anti-lockdown protesters is people that it's a conspiracy, it's a hoax. Basically trying to make it look like everyone here is nutty, when I know that's not the case. Because there's a few people that were, when a few of the other clips I've seen. And what I'll actually do, just to show you this framing, and it will lead me on to my next point, I'm going to insert the clip here, which it hurts me to have to put this business into my podcast because I'm a Liverpool fan. And if you know the history behind Hillsborough, you know why me putting this clip hurts me. Because it's from we don't even want to mention the name. It hurts my soul, but it was the best video, and there was something about this video that clicked something in me. This is what made me say, you know what, let me just do this now. So I'm going to put the clip here, and what I'll do is I'll put the full context in the description section below. So just watch this clip, and then we'll talk about it after.
Just doing our job, aren't we? Just doing our job. Come on, just doing our job. Just doing our job. Are we arrested Julian Assange?
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
So that's the clip that I was talking about. This edit is going to be awful because I just done some silliness, just smiling and grinning at the camera for 10 seconds. Get me to 100 subscribers, you might see it. If you don't want to see it. So in this clip, you can see this guy, where the camera cuts in, he's just got something written in his back. He's just standing. It doesn't seem like he's bothering no one. It doesn't even seem like he's approaching the police. He's had now what seems to be half of the UK's police force surrounding him, trying to arrest him. Question number one to the police. This is to all you police officers out there. Where was that same level of crud when it was Black Lives Matter protesting? I did not see a single one of you showing the same bravery when it was Black Lives Matter protesting. If you've got the clips, I will stand corrected and I will apologize. When they were just standing there protesting, obviously it's different. Once they start attacking you, you have to defend yourself. When they were just standing there protesting during the lockdown, this is when you're not even allowed to be out in groups of 6 people getting told to go home when they're at the park. You've got how many people protesting? Where was the same crowd from the police? 16 people to pick up one old man that's just there. He's just there trying to say, I don't agree with the second lockdown. I don't agree with these measures. As a policeman, if you are a policeman, please, I want to have you on the podcast so you can explain to me, when you took your oath, is this what you imagined? When you took your oath to protect the people, did you think you'd be enforcing people that don't wear masks? The funny thing is, if you go back to that clip, the people that are arresting this gentleman, none of them are wearing masks. So how are you going to arrest me because I'm not allowed to be conducting this protest because apparently the message that I'm putting out there is dangerous to the public? You're not even following that message yourself. I'm confused. Guys, I might just call this, I'm confused. And do you know what's getting me upset? If the police acted the same way against the BLM protesters in the city, I wouldn't have an issue. Now there's a discrepancy. Because what I like about this is there's a lot of variables that are controlled that are the same. It's happened in the space of a few months. It's happened during our COVID pandemic. If anything, the Black Lives Matter protest happened when it was even worse. These people have actually got a point in terms of your rights to being infringed on, being forced. You can't see people. You have to wear a mask. You have to do this. Whereas the Black Lives Matter protest, they were protesting police brutality, which is a statistical anomaly in the UK. It is a statistical anomaly in, like, it was something like 10 people in the last 13 years have died in police custody. That's a statistical anomaly. That does not even show up on a chart, yet we had riots. Well, not riots, we had protests which turned violent. You had the police running away from these protesters, or rioters, looters, whatever you want to call them. We had raids that were happening where police were being chased, running away. And again, this is not me to say the police needs to be just militant, arrest everyone you see on sight. I'm saying, why is there a discrepancy in the behavior? So if the call to action is people are allowed to protest, we're going to leave them alone. As long as they don't harm us, we're going to leave them alone. Because that was during a lockdown as well. That was during restrictions. It's not like the world was free and they're protesting what's going on in the world, and then now we're in a lockdown, so now the rules have changed. That was also in a lockdown. So now, my question is, why the discrepancy? If there's any police officers out there, if anyone's got Boris's mobile number, I might have it, I might not, you don't know. Call him and ask him, why is there a discrepancy? And should I tell you why? Should I tell you why I'm saying Boris? Because you're sitting on a throne, mate. It's happening on your watch. Same way how in America they'll try to blame Trump for these riots. It's not Trump's fault for the riots. Everyone knows that. The political system in America works different. In the UK, it is you, Boris, that's putting these lockdowns, and you're doing these based on whoever you've got behind you. You're their shield at the moment. Can you explain why was there a discrepancy between how the Black Lives Matter protesters were treated, and why is the discrepancy in how these protesters, the anti-lockdown protesters, were treated? People got arrested, and from all the clips I've seen a bit of like back and forward, but I've not seen these protesters throwing any bottles and trying to fight police. I've not seen these videos. If they're out there, please do send them to me on Facebook or wherever you've got me, Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to watch them, and I'll be more than happy to correct my statement. I have not seen these clips. I've looked today, like I spent a few hours just looking. Okay, cool. This is from that person. This is from that person. Let me look at it. I have not seen these clips. But type in Black Lives Matter London protest. See how many clips you see of the protesters being the initiators in the violence. And obviously, disclaimer, I agree with Black Lives Matter, the sentiment. Of course, Black Lives Matter. I don't agree with the organisation. COVID-19 is not a hoax. I don't believe it's a hoax anyway. I do believe we've overreacted, and I do believe we're overreacting to just satisfy the loud minority who'd get annoyed if everything opened back up. To satisfy the few people that hate their jobs, that don't like working, they're only taking home about £200 less from the normal wage, and they're saying you're basically paying me to be on holiday and to be with my family. To satisfy the politicians, where their job is to keep their job, the police officers that haven't got enough courage to stand up for the public and say, I won't be enforcing this. This is not it is not within the spirit of the freedoms we believe in the United Kingdom. This is to satisfy those loud people. Yeah, that's what it is, to satisfy that small minority of the left that does not want to go back to work, that wants to see the system crumble, to satisfy the politicians that just want to keep their jobs. This is my disclaimer. So I'm not saying it's a hoax, but I do believe we've overreacted. I'm not saying Black Lives don't matter. I condemn the Black Lives Matter organisation. But because it's two protests that I've seen, which are almost on opposite ends. One's non-violent, and from what I've seen, the other one there was violence from what I've seen in terms of and I'm talking about the aggressors, the parties that are being the aggressors in the violence. Now you could go back and say, maybe if that police line had an advance, they wouldn't have felt threatened. But you could do that all the way to the policeman's birth and that rioter's birth as well. You could go all the way back if you want to. Now, what is my point in all of this? Why am I so upset? Number one, I could not tell you what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I've tried to look at it. I don't know. Are we allowed 6 people? But we're not allowed 6 people inside, but outside. So if you meet outside but you're in a garden, are you allowed more than 6? I don't know what's going on anymore. Why do I have to wear a mask 2 meters from the entrance to the desk, only to take it back off again and then still speak? That you see that same radius. Do people think when you speak that the spit and whatever that comes out your mouth stays here? Do they think it stays here? It makes a box around your face like this and it stays there. So when you're on your table, it stays there. Do you not think it gets carried further? Like if I'm speaking, some people are naturally loudspeakers. Like some people, just for whatever reason, it might be you have a big tongue. I don't know what it is. You might have a lisp. Like you're more likely to produce saliva when you're speaking. Do you think that's gonna stay here like this, like this? Because if you do, I can't help you. Why do I have to wear a mask to walk 2 seconds in, but I can take it off? Cool. That's my point. I don't understand what's going on, guys. This COVID thing has gone out of hand. There is a lot of people who are suffering. There is a lot of people who are suffering. Suicides have gone up. Unemployment has skyrocketed. We've now borrowed more money. This is going to be put on our children and us as we're getting older to pay back these debts for the lockdown we've just had and supporting everyone's income. Domestic violence has gone up. These are all things that are going up. Excess deaths, people dying, deaths that could have been avoided as a result of our appointments being cancelled has gone up. As a result of surgeries being cancelled, it's gone up. At what point do we say, you know what, I want my freedom back? What is that point for you? Like for you, what will be that point when you say, you know what, you've gone too far now, I want my freedom back, Boris? Because some people have realised from early doors, we're not far off. Some people have realised from, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist like that. I will in the future though have a segment called, I don't know, I'm still thinking about what I want to call it. And hopefully one of my friends who's having his kind of conspiracy theory podcast, we're going to link up somewhere, don't worry, chop it, change it up, everything. But I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I do not believe that this is some bigger plot to mind control everyone. I do not believe this is some big plot from Boris to get everyone just wearing masks because he likes the looks of them. I do not believe this is to cover 5G. I don't believe none of that. I literally think we're dealing with people who are solely focused on protecting their best interests. And it so happens that their best interests are contrary to what our best interests are as a people, as a nation. And this has got nothing to do with race. Like, I'm not talking about black people, white people. As a nation, as the UK, as citizens of the UK, you've got Nicola Sturgeon putting stricter lockdowns in Scotland to make a point. She's wanted out of the UK for ages. She's done it to make a point. It's a shambles. It's an actual shambles. Where do you draw the line? That's my question, Trevor. Where do you draw the line? Where are you going to go? You know what? I've had enough. Because I think personally, for me, and this is not a call to arms, this is not me saying disobey the laws, because if you disobey the laws and you get fined, I'm not paying your fine for you. Think for yourself. This is the whole point of the think for yourself. I'm just giving you my opinion. Me personally, I've had enough. Fair enough, I don't want to be inconsiderate of people. But I've had enough of having a security guard chase me down. Where's your mask? And then questioning me if I say I was exempt. My friend said she was exempt. I've had enough of it. I've had enough. You as a police officer can't hop out your van with no mask on and break social distancing to arrest me. No. That makes no sense. Follow your own rules first. If you're going to arrest me from 2 meters away. I don't know how you're going to throw the handcuffs. Do that. Follow your own rules first. Don't enforce rules you're not following. if you're exempt from following them, so am I. I'm fed up. I don't know if you guys can tell. I am fed up of this because it's ruining people's lives. But the people who stand to gain from continuing the charades that we're calling protecting ourselves from coronavirus, they do not care. They don't care. Because guess what? Boris is still in office. All those scientists are still getting paid. All the people that might still be on furlough might have had the furlough extended. Yeah, sweet. It's you that will suffer. You, the hard-working person. If you was doing a sales job, you can't really do that effectively anymore. If you was doing like a customer-facing role, you can't really do that anymore. If you've had your hours cut down because everywhere shuts at 10 now, your family's gonna have to suffer. If you're a teacher and you actually love teaching your kids, one of your kids gets ill, they think it might be corona, you're quarantined for 2 weeks. If that happens 30 weeks in a row, that's that done. Where is your line? I'm gonna ask that again. Where is your line? When are you gonna say this is enough? I've had enough. And I'll leave it there. Now, if you think I was talking absolute nonsense, that's fair enough, I guess. If you think, you know what, I've got a point, leave a like. Leave a like. Share it with your friends. Let them know. Like, even if you just want to say, you know what, his trim's alright. His haircut is alright. I want to tell my boyfriend or my brother, this is how you need to get your haircut. I can tell you where to go for that one. Share it with him. But thank you for tuning in. If you've been here with me, this is a lot longer than I wanted it to be. But again, I just offloaded all my thoughts, all my feelings on this. Hopefully I never have to touch on this ever again. You know the drill. Scroll up, hit that like, hit that share, subscribe, notifications, leave a comment. Thank you for watching. Appreciate all the love, all the support. Stay safe. It's the Faceless Podcast. I go by the name of Shepherd. My friends call me Sheps. Call me whatever you want. As long as it's not put your mask on, we're friends, we're good. Have a good day, evening, night, wherever you are.